Hey guys, so once again, here again, making up another video game with my friend Matt Dennion.
Yeah, hey everybody. We had originally intended this to kind of just be one game thing, and then Tyler had a good idea for a second one, and then after we finished that recording, we kind of started going around that idea for a third fighting game that would be a little bit different. So we thought this one would be fun to do. You want to tell them, Tyler, what we're thinking for this one?
Yep. This time around, we're going to do something a little more M-rated. This time, it's going to be what if Universal Studios made a Dark Universe fighting game?
Yes, so we're going to look at just horror across the Universal IPs. Additionally, for this one, we weren't thinking like a 3v3 Marvel vs. Capcom type series. We were thinking, in this case, about going to the guys behind Killer Instinct and having them do something in the vein of Killer Instinct. And we have a reason for that we'll get to toward the end, too. I'm sure you guys probably aren't thinking about.
Yeah. Although I will ask, do you think they could, since, Warner Brothers keeps trying to get rid of NetherRealm Studios, do you think Warner Brothers would want NetherRealm Studios to work with them on this, if this was an actual project?
It is possible. See, obviously the only thing that draws from NetherRealm is Mortal Kombat. Although the Injustice game is well, I don't think we're getting another one of them with the James Gunn's new series. He seems to kind of want to get away from the evil Superman and stuff, unfortunately. But, Mortal Kombat's a huge money maker, so I'm not sure. Maybe it would take quite a payout for that to happen. I mean, what are your thoughts? Like, I think that they want to get rid of most of NetherRealm and just keep the Mortal Kombat IPs. Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if, what happens is that they, if Warner Brothers realistically will sell a lot of the company and keep just the Mortal Kombat staff and just kind of break up NetherRealm Studios and probably sell off pieces in stock.
Yeah, so could I see NetherRealm doing this? I mean, potentially.
I do see a lot of developers being behind this.
It's not out of the realm of possibility, I suppose, that they could just work with them. I mean, and everybody wins that way too, instead of a buyout.
Yeah. It's not like Warner Brothers and Universal do have an active relationship. They've done movies together, thanks to Amblin, obviously with Twister, obviously with Harry Potter.
Yeah, I could see it. I think we just went with Killer Instinct because they were separate, and we haven't seen anything from them in a while too. So.
Yeah, I still agree that the people behind Killer Instinct would probably be my pick too. I just had that thought the other day, what if NetherRealm did? Because this is Ed Boon's dream, so.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, so I guess we'll talk about the game. Obviously, Dark Universe is going to be a land, but it's obviously that the IP of Dark Universe isn't dead, even though the movie franchise is dead.
Yes. They're hoping to bring it back still. They do have some reboots in the works, and they're bringing it back big time in the parks next year. So that's where I think you get a push from in this case.
Yeah. So, Matt, what is your idea for how this game would go? What's the story behind this game for you?
I think we'd have to have something, to me, and I think to you too, it always either goes back to either Dracula or Emotep creating issues. So in this case, I could see one of them sort of trying to make a power play to almost kind of take over horror universes, so it'd be kind of like Dark Universes. I suppose these could all take place in the same universe without too much difficulty across time. Or maybe they're two people like Dracula and Emotep are in a battle to gain supremacy, and they're kind of sort of drafting different people to their side. It would be the overall arcing story. Of course, it'd still be a base fighting game, but yes, that Mortal Kombat-esque type of story, that might be what I go with. What are you thinking?
See, I'm kind of going with the same thing, but my idea for this version is kind of in the vein of Mortal Kombat Armageddon.
Oh, okay.
Where in this, instead of Dracula would be a part of it, but basically Adaru, aka Fear from Halloween Horror Nights,
nice.
Adaru has basically decided, I'm gonna just, like Adaru is basically like, I am dying. Like my power is waning. I'm going to, if someone can defeat me in combat, I will give them all my power, and they will become the new god of fear. So obviously this this basically echoes through this dark universe, which in here, my idea for the dark universe is that it's kind of like a negative in a picture. Like, horrors are basically existing in a universe next to ours, and it's like simultaneous. Like, it's a universe within a universe, if that makes any sense.
No, I get you. No, I can see that. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, Adaru basically is like Blaze from MK Armageddon, and he's your final boss.
No, that'd be pretty cool. No, I'd be in for that too.
Yeah. So what characters do you want to talk about first?
I think you got to go with the classic Universal monsters first, right? And like which ones we would put in there. They're the cornerstones, if you will, of horror in general. So I would start off. I'd go way back. I'd start off with some Lon Chaney Sr. with the Phantom of the Opera, Eric, and the Hunchback of Notre Dame. What do you think? Like if we're going far back.
Yeah, I would have them and the Man Who Laughs.
Yes.
Yeah. Even though he's not really... He basically is kind of lumped in there with the horror vibe, even though it's not really a horror movie at all.
I know, and for anybody who doesn't know, the Man Who Laughs is, like, almost for sure where the inspiration for the Joker came from.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have, like, a Joker-esque playset. That's not really his background. He's more of, like, a disfigured person, but the visage is definitely that of a Joker, so yeah, I would be in for the Man Who Laughs as well.
Yeah. He's also, like, in the book, he's, like, a trained fencer, so I would definitely have, like, a lot of sword.
So yeah, I would definitely be in for that as well. And then from there, I think we'd have to probably go up into the 1930s, right?
Yeah.
With the classics, and this is where we get to that real wheelhouse of Universal horror from back then. Dracula, Frankenstein, The Bride. I'm definitely going with all of those. There was one that kind of stuck out to me as a fun entry. Would be 1932's Murders in the Rue Morgue, which you could have the sort of knife-wielding orangutan from that story. I think would be fun.
That would be a really good one.
And then from there, you also get the Mummy, of course. Although, like, do you go with different skins for the Mummy here, or totally different players? Like, you get a 32 Mummy, and then like a 1999 Mummy.
See, I would go with Arnold Vosloo Mummy, the Brendan Fraser Mummy.
Straight up.
But I would have a 1930s Mummies because there was another that wasn't Emotep. It was Karis.
Correct. Yes, that would be pretty cool. Okay, so I like that. I think additionally you've got to have the Invisible Man in there.
Yeah.
From 33. Additionally, I might go with the one that they did in conjunction with Blumhouse. I thought that movie was really good. And have like more like tech suit based one, but at the very least, the Claude Rains look with like the guy with the wrapped up head and stuff would be fantastic. And you had a really good idea for that, I thought, right?
Yeah, basically, whenever he takes damage, the more damage Griffin would take in the fight, the more like his clothes fly off, until eventually you're fighting with just an invisible character.
Yes, which would be a great idea. From there, The Bride has got to be in this one, right? From The Bride of Frankenstein, classic movie.
Yeah.
She is definitely in. Did you put the Werewolf of London in there, or do you just make him a skin for the Wolfman?
You see, I would love to have the Werewolf of London in here, but I think like his moveset would be probably too similar, so just make him an alternate skin. And and there's also another werewolf I kind of want to put in here too, to be a different moveset for Talbot's werewolf.
No, I agree with that. So then, going forward, I think you're looking at the Wolfman, like we just said, right? Like, the Wolfman is for sure in there. And again, I would do skins here. I would, of course, go the classic Lon Chaney Jr. I also really liked the remake with Benicio del Toro, if you could give him that kind of look as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I would even have, like, maybe as a fun alternate skin you could unlock, his father, like Anthony Hopkins' werewolf.
Would be very cool as well. Yes, I would be in for that. Going forward from there, I might go with the Mad Ghoul, kind of an unknown, not as big horror hit, but it would give you something different in this case. One of the zombie-esque characters with a Mad Doctor in the mix would be pretty cool. What are your thoughts?
I like that. I was going to put for like one of the other Universal monsters that are like Universal horror movies that aren't well known or just kind of like thrown to the wayside. I was going to pick Boris Karloff's character from the Satanic Sorcerer from The Black Cat.
Very good pick. Yeah, I might go with that one instead. Then we came to a couple characters who, in this type of games, you sometimes get a jokey character, or at least a character who brings some comedic relief. So more like a Johnny Cage, right? Like Johnny Cage is the comedic relief. And we had talked about the possibility of Abbott and Costello being in this mix.
Absolutely, yeah, like a tag team kind of, and it's just slapstick moves.
Yeah, I think they would be fun. With as dark as the rest of the game goes, and they're still iconic, you could get some really funny voice lines mixed into it. You know, like if they're going to be a tag duo or something, like, oh, who's on first, right? And then just go from there type of thing.
Yeah. Or like when you switch,
really fun.
When you're switching them out, like, hey, Abbott!
Yeah, I think they would be fun. And as we go forward and, through the movies and time, gotta have the Gill Man, right? I mean, fantastic design, beloved by pretty much the entire horror fan base. He's bridges that gap from the supernatural horror movies of the 30s and the 40s, more to like the atomic type of horror from the 1950s and 60s.
Absolutely, you gotta have him in here. For others, 1950s, I would say the Mole People.
A fantastic pick on your part. Classic B movie with a wonderful design in terms of the creature from it, the aliens from it. I don't think you can go wrong. The other one from that time frame, I was thinking This Island Earth, with kind of like the aliens with the giant heads, sort of more as a task-esque, but they're bigger and more intimidating.
I was going to go with This Island Earth, but the Metalunan. The
also
insect.
A good pick.
Yeah.
I'm thinking you were wrong either way there.
Yeah. I think that kind of the thing I would love to do with this, like, kind of the story of the game is that, like, all of this dark universe has just been, like, all these timelines and all these great horrors. Like, Adaru is, like, he's, like, the Overwatch of fear, and he's, like, basically watched all these monsters and madmen, spread his message. But he needs, like, a actual, like, heir. So, like, he's bringing all these monster timelines together and having them just be like, yeah, you're all gonna fight now and see if you can if you can defeat me. Boom, you're the new god of fear. So I think like the idea of the classic monsters, because in Halloween Horror Nights lore, Adaru used the original Universal monsters to spread his message first.
Okay, yeah, I like that in terms of storylines. Yes.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up, because I was like, because I'm gonna use some, because I'm like, Halloween Horror Nights is such a big property. I mean, why not just throw it into this game?
No, I totally agree with that. They should, and they own those characters, they own those IPs, and like you said, it's well known, so I definitely would do it. Yeah, did you want to keep going, or did
Oh yeah. You.
I thought another one that would have to be in here is classic 1960 Psycho, Norman Bates.
Yeah, you gotta have Norman here, and at the bare minimum, either the Psycho House or the Bates Motel as a stage.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you're talking about, sort of the original slasher, right?
Yeah.
And then from there, we would get kind of into the 70s movies, 80s movies, and we had some really good picks from there. I know you have a few off the top of your head if you want to jump in real fast.
Yeah. Now this one, I will say, from the 70s, 80s era, this one is kind of like, I don't know where the rights land, but it would be kind of cool. Phantasm, the Tall Man.
Yeah, so apparently Phantasm 2 and 3 were done by Universal, which would be like amazing to have them in there. But if they can get them there, I guess we should be like on this. We're going to have a couple of characters who fall into this. We're not super sure where the rights lie, so the Universal might have the ability to utilize one version of that character, and if possible, we would get them in. Okay, so since it's just hypothetical. So along those lines, somebody we definitely talked about, and this is, I mean, kind of skipping even a little to the 90s, but backtrack close to the 80s, would be the Army of Darkness version of Ash Williams, which was done by Universal. We know from the Mortal Kombat 11 debacle how the rights can be, but if there's any shot of getting Ash Williams into a fighting game with horror characters, you gotta take it.
Yeah. I think also story-wise, like, how I would explain, like, why there are good guys in this game is to explain, like, one of Jack's other heralds, Adaru's other herald, Jack, is like, well, he's not going to skip over me, not after everything I did for him. So he just as a little, like, fuck you, he opens up and lets in, like, these other heroes and just kind of throws them in there and, like, pretends to be, like, this, you know, soothsayer, like, oh, there's this great evil and you have to stop him. When really, he's just trying, if one of these heroes can kill Adaru, I'll kill him and take his power.
Right. And I think you had another werewolf from the 80s time frame you might want to mention.
Oh, yeah. David.
Yes,
American Werewolf in London. This I kind of imagine David as just this absolute tank that you'd have to, like, just throw everything you have at him. Also, it's like a fun move, like a fun move set. I could do like a quick summon for like those Nazi werewolves for a quick attack.
Oh, okay, yeah, that would be pretty cool. No, I'd be in for that.
Yeah. So back to you, Matt.
Sure. So we had a couple other ones. So this one is interesting. From late 90s to the early 90s, early 60s. What about Cape Fear and grabbing the character of Max Cady from Cape Fear? You could have maybe different skins for him, for Robert Mitchum and for Robert De Niro.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a deep cut. I imagine he'd be kind of a close-up for a fighter. You know, obviously a lot of his kills were close-up.
Yeah.
And there was another, going back to Heroes real quick, that you were like, yeah, he's horror-adjacent enough to get in this game. And who is that exactly, Matt?
I got two off the top of my head. So one would be from the classic film They Live. John Nada, portrayed by the legendary Hot Rod, Rowdy Roddy Piper. Of course, unfortunately, Piper's passed on, so we'd have to get, like, stock quotes, but, I mean, you had the perfect lead-in for this game if he was in it, right? Like a commercial for it.
Yeah, like the perfect commercial would be like two monsters are fighting, and then they just hear like footsteps coming in, and here's Johnny, and he's like, I have come to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And he raises the gun, and I'm all out of gum. Blam!
Perfect. And the other one, how about Shaun from Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah. Again, that one, I think the legal rights, but the Universal had the distribution, and I think they helped produce the movie, so I think that's enough.
I would think so. Like I said, we're playing a little fast and loose for this, you know. Another horror adjacent hero that Universal does have the rights to that I would just freaking lose my shit if he made it in. How about Sam Raimi's dark noir themed hero, Darkman?
Darkman would have to be in this game. Like, I mean, people say, like, even though I don't consider it a horror movie, like The Crow, people are like, oh, The Crow's a horror movie. I'm like, it's got scary elements, but it's not a horror movie. That's how I view Darkman. But Darkman has a lot more to horror adjacent because it could be a horror movie if it wanted to be.
He certainly looks like he belongs in a horror movie. Additionally, the playset, because we haven't talked a ton about those, we're just going through characters. His playset could be fun with his ability to sort of like steal people's identities. You could give him like a Shang Tsung almost playset if you wanted to, right? Where he's able to like swipe the face of one of the other characters and take on their moveset, perhaps. Absolutely.
I think it would be another, it would be kind of cool. I think it would be kind of cool. Like he has, like you could do something like you can make the screen darker, and that kind of increases his strength and agility for a bit.
Oh, I like that too. Good call, right? Because of his background. Heaven forbid you get Liam Neeson to voice him. That'd be amazing, right?
I mean, Neeson has been doing a lot. He's been doing like other projects where it's like, man, you got him, okay.
Yeah. So that would be fun. And then like into the more straight up horror characters, Chucky would have to be in this, right?
Yeah, Chucky has to be here. Tiffany, I would say, kind of like what they did in Dead by Daylight, where Tiffany is an alternate skin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. Looking at some of the other ones, we had talked about the Purge. Take one or two of the fighters from the Purge. Do you think?
Absolutely, yeah. I think the Purge, as like a kind of like a F. Well, there's another one that I found out is technically under Universal. We'll get to them in a minute, but I kind of imagine them as like a group fight. Like you could switch out and use different like Purge icons throughout the movies. Like one can be like a shooter, the other one's like close up and stab you. Another's more like a ranged fighter.
Right.
Yeah. And speaking of how I kind of imagine a screwed up Ninja Turtles, is the Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
They'd be great. Anytime you get the Killer Clowns, I'm all in for it. So they're like Universal adjacent?
Yeah, the Kyoto Brothers did have a deal with Universal. I don't know if it's still standing, but they are under Universal as far as I know.
And then a couple others we talked about. With all those Universal monsters, like a newer film, I'm jumping a little bit to the 2000s, but our boy Gabriel Van Helsing, Hugh Jackman, would have to be in this game. Right?
Yeah.
He'd have to be in this game.
And also, like, I would say, like, that version of Mr. Hyde from the movie should be in the game.
I agree with that. I like that, like, hulking version of Mr. Hyde would be pretty cool for this.
Yeah.
You had one or two other ones, like mid-90s, if you wanted to bring one of those up.
I did have, like, early 2000s character that's kind of a really deep cut, and I think she has enough, like, cult following that would be like, oh, cool, I haven't thought of that movie in years. And that is Mary Shaw from Dead Silence.
That's a good pick. That's a very good pick. You'd also mentioned the Frighteners as a pick, like for some ghost action, which I think would be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, the Reaper from Frighteners. That was another one I really wanted.
And again, I don't think you can pass it up. John Carpenter's a thing from Universal Studios.
Yeah, either that would be so cool. Like it could like shapeshift, like stretch its arm out, just make a horrible. Like it could also be cool as like if it attacked the opponent character and actually become that other character. So now it's a mirror fight.
Would be amazing. Similar to like Darkman's play, I guess, to some extent, like we talked about.
Oh yeah. Or it could be kind of like it could like change into another character, not just a mirror fight, but like change into another character entirely. So now the other player has to fight. Oh great, now I'm fighting like Tall Man. Nope, it changed into something else. Damn it.
Yeah, that would be cool. That'd be cool.
I would also have R.J. McCready in the game too, along with it.
R.J. McCready would be great. He's another like one of those kind of classic characters. What about from Us, Lupita Nyong'o's character from there?
I know people are going to be like, oh, that doesn't make any sense, but really, she moves like a ballerina, and with those scissors, I could imagine her dealing like some serious damage.
Yes, yeah, I can see it too. Another one that comes to mind, Universal owns the Jamie Lee Curtis film Virus, which was kind of like a tech version of the thing, I guess, but it would give us another big tank-like grappler character if we were to take the monster from the end of that film. Yeah.
Also, we wouldn't have we'd also have like a chance to have like assimilated Irish drunken Donald Glover.
Which can't be.
Donald Sutherland, excuse me, Donald Sutherland.
Still, can't be. Still be fun to have. I know what you meant, my bad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a lot of characters already. Well, there's a couple others when I was like looking up Universal characters that just stuck out to me. I mean, one of the creepiest movies ever, Rutger Hauer's character from The Hitcher. Yeah,
that's another deep cut that I think would really work. I think it would be brutal enough. And also you could do a lot of like car-themed executions in your moveset.
Yes, which would be fun.
I did have another one. And this is one that I'm like, oh yeah, that's under Universal. Michael.
Yes. Yeah, I was waiting for you to say it. Yeah, we would have Halloween, Michael Myers from Halloween. They've done most of the films. And you also had the good idea of potentially incorporating Halloween 3 as well, which I think would be fun.
Yeah, either as a stage or that'd be kind of like a cool stage execution where like you grab the other opponent after they've died, you drag them in front of a screen, and they just their face just starts melting into spiders and snakes and shit.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Go ahead.
There is also, like, of course, there's also the whole thing of now we open the door to Blumhouse because they work so lucratively with Universal.
Yes. In fact, one I had just to mention from there would be another kind of joke character, but also, like, there's so many male characters to help balance it out. I was thinking of Tree from Happy Death Day. Kind of like a modern cult classic, but I would have her play where, like, she's pretty easy to kill at least once, but she just keeps coming back, like she does in Happy Death Day. And also the babyface killer would be fun too, right?
Yeah, I'd have both. I would even say, like, the actress, I forget, Catherine Newton, her character in Freaky. I don't know if you ever saw that.
I did. That would be a good one too. Character we had talked about that I think would be great. I might do this one as DLC at a certain time of year. What about Krampus from what was that, 2015 or so?
Yeah, 2015. Krampus is another banger, and I know it's you have to really pull some gymnastics for horror for this one. Bring in Santa Claus from Violent Night as you could do it like both characters for DLC Christmas.
I think it'd go crazy if that was the case. I think that would be huge to do there. Like, I would download it in a second. I think a lot of fans would at Christmas time, especially. I mean, they're not characters you necessarily play year round, but at Christmas time, for sure.
Yeah, the tagline can be.
Anybody from The Strangers? Do you think?
Is The Stranger? I forget. Is The Strangers under Universal?
I believe so.
Because I thought they were Warner Brothers.
Double checking for you real quick. Okay, I got the 2018 one here. Sorry, my computer was just decided to move really slow all of a sudden.
It's all right. We're all professionals here.
Yeah. Okay. One site had it listed. I can't seem to find any other one. Looks like it was Rogue. Maybe they just did one of them at some point. So, okay, I might keep them out then.
All right. For other Blumhouse fighters, Megan, you gotta Megan would obviously be in this game.
Yes, for sure.
And I think Freddy Fazbear, and if not Freddy, it would probably be Springtrap, because you got to get that Fazbear crowd in here too.
Yeah, definitely. And then we also looked at potential stages from, other great movies like The Birds. Like, how great would it be to have a stage from The Birds where they're like flying in the background, they're like a stage hazard where they can attack you. You had a great idea for arguably the greatest horror movie of all time, Out of the Water, right?
Yeah. Wait, which movie? Because I
Jaws.
Yeah, Jaws. Perfect. You're fighting on the orca. You ring out the other character. Fucking Bruce comes in and eats the other character.
I'd be so in for that. Maybe kind of like another joke character that we had come across. Very recent one. I think it'd be a blast to play as this character, Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, it's a female bear, I forget.
Yes.
She would be a fun, brutal character, and like when they're doing the character intros, like when they're walking in, you could have like her opening scene, she's snorting like cocaine off a severed leg.
Yes, I mean, you gotta like play up the humor a bit with that character, but I do think that would be really fun.
Yeah. For another stage,
we're not really like looking at a count. Like I know in the other ones, we have to like a count of people. This is just kind of like naming off characters we think would be fun in a game like this, right?
Yeah. For another stage character, I would have another stage and execution. I would have Perfection Nevada.
Oh, that'd be very cool.
Yeah,
I
like
can see that.
you could have you could get stage executed. I couldn't speak for a freaking minute. Stage executed by a graboid.
And then some of the other stages, Dracula's castle's got to be in there, right?
Yeah. Frankenstein's lab.
Frankenstein's lab for sure. The mummy's tomb, right?
Yeah, like you could even have like special like traps and whatnot for like how Mortal Kombat had like special things you could like pick up and throw at the other guy.
Yes, like stage hazard type stuff or stage attacks. It's probably a better term.
Yeah, like you could if you're in the mummy's tomb, you can activate something and like a spray of sulfur could hit the other guy in the face.
Yeah.
For real quick, I noticed.
What other like potential hero character we had talked about? Riddick from Pitch Black?
Yeah, Riddick was another. Riddick was one. I said Burt Gummer, too.
Burt Gummer would be fun, too. Yes.
Yeah, I know Michael Gross would totally be down to voice the character.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think for most of these guys, you could get somebody you'd be pretty happy if you voiced them like the original actors. In most cases. There's a few it would be tough.
Yeah. And you know who else I just realized is under Universal and we didn't talk about?
Who?
The Leprechaun.
Oh, really? Oh, Leprechaun should definitely be in there. I'd be in for that.
Yeah, the Leprechaun and Candyman.
Yes, you did mention Candyman, which would be fun as well. At least the newer Candyman is under them.
Yeah. But I imagine it wouldn't be that hard to get an alternate skin for the Tony Todd. Or hell, like, they could easily get, like, Tony, we could get Tony.
What do you think of a stage with Peter Jackson's Kong?
Skull Island would be perfect. Especially if, like, you're fighting in the spider pit.
Yes. Yeah, that would be cool. So plenty of stage hazards there. I think that'd be really neat. I guess, I don't know if Kong would fit in terms of a fighter in this game. Maybe as like a boss. But Skull Island, the spider pit scene would be great, right?
Yeah. Or like you're fighting on the log and Kong is like twisting the log back and forth.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah. Kong you gotta like stay on the log, but then you both fall, then you end up in the spider pit. So now it's more stage hazards. You ring out one guy, those tube worms. It would like the finishing scene would be that Andy Serkis's death scene.
Maybe if you go like if you split the first 2 rounds, he tosses you off the log for the third, and then you're in the spider pit.
Yeah. That's perfect.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That changes it up a little bit. And that is there any other big characters we're forgetting about or fun characters before we, go into why we were thinking the Killer Instinct guys?
I would say like Jurassic Park for a stage.
We did talk about Blue being a character, right?
Yeah, Blue, or since it's more horror, I would say the big one from JP1.
The big one, yeah, that's fine. You can do like Blue as a skin, but I agree with you. Yeah, the big one from JP1, you'd have to have the Raptor in there. The Raptor fighting a werewolf would be a blast to me.
Oh yeah, I would even say like instead of like put it in Isla Sorna, like the old research lab, and you could have the alternate skin be JP3 Raptor.
Yes, that would be cool.
Yeah. I feel like Jurassic Park, it is horror enough.
Yeah, listen, as a kid, it scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
The Raptors in particular.
Yeah. You could even have the Dilo as one of the characters.
I thought about that too. The spinning dinosaur you were talking
about,
right?
the Dilophosaurus.
Yeah. And then we had mentioned if we had a Killer Instinct crew doing this, potentially having 1 or 2 characters from Killer Instinct be guests, right? So Saberwolf, I think you mentioned, was the first one.
Yes, Saberwolf and Hisako.
Would be great, yeah. And I think it'd be fun to. We haven't had a new Killer Instinct in a decade now.
Yeah.
So it'd be pretty fun, and I think you can put those characters in there the way that you get 1 or 2 Mortal Kombat fighters and Injustice type of deal, right? Or like any DLC for Mortal Kombat, or even Killer Instinct has had their own DLCs like Rash and characters from Halo, right?
Yeah, and General Ram from Gears of War.
Or Gears of War, sorry, that'd be pretty fun.
Well, no, Arbiter from Halo was in there too, so you were right.
Oh, okay. I mean, it works either way. But I think this would be a fun game. Like, they have to pare down the roster some. We just kind of threw out there anybody we'd like to see in it. I think some of those heroes would be fun. They'd have to make it sufficiently violent and gory, like a Killer Instinct or a Mortal Kombat type of game, with some cool fatalities and stuff. But it'd be neat to see that kind of scope of horror going all the way from the 1920s into today. It's almost like a century, right? You're looking at almost like a century of horror from Universal alone that you could put into one fighting game, which would be pretty cool, I think.
Yeah. I would even say for DLC, I would have like Killer Instinct characters that this was under Killer Instinct, but I'd also have like the icons from Halloween Horror Nights as DLC.
Yes, you mentioned that. It's a great idea as additional DLC.
So
there's your DLC packs right there. Right?
Yeah, so like pack 1, you get like Killer Instinct characters. Pack 2, you get Jack, the Caretaker, the Director, and Chance.
And then you've got the Christmas pack with Violent Night Santa and Krampus.
Absolutely, and I feel like we're missing one for like another Christmas horror that counts as a Christmas horror movie.
Well, the remake of Black Christmas was them, so you can take the slasher from there.
Yeah, but that's not Billy. That ain't Billy for me.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah, maybe it's like maybe that's where you can put Megan, because it was meant to be like a Christmas toy.
Well, wasn't Chucky a Christmas present? I mean, I feel like he's got to be in the base roster though.
Well, he was a birthday present.
Birthday present, okay. He's got to be base roster anyway, though, right?
Yeah, but if you want to do holidays, that's where you put Leprechaun in the DLC, like to represent. So you got him and Michael for Halloween.
Perfect. Yes.
Yeah. So I think we got it all.
I think we did. That was a lot of fun. If we're missing anybody big, please let us know in the comments, right?
Yeah. Please let us know in the comments below. What if there was a Dark Universe fighting game? What characters did you want? What moveset would you want them to have? What stages? All that good stuff. Matt, thank you so much for joining me on this video. And yeah, just comment below. Let us know. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.